Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, prepare your ear holes for the best wrestling podcast, the hard-hitting wrestling show.
Hello and welcome to the Hashtag Mania Challenge 2020 on the Hard Hittin' Wrestling Show podcast. I'm Obi Muniz with Hector Vasquez, Frank Cuesta, and Tyler Bard. It was a great first 3 episodes as we covered the East, Midwest, and South regionals. And today we'll be covering the South regional on episode 4 of the Hard Hittin' Wrestling Show. But we'll finish with the first round, and then we'll summarize everything that's happened in the first round on all 4 regions. And it's pretty amazing. It's a wonderful competition. It's real tight. Just a little bit small disagreements, small differences, but that's what it's expected to be in the first round. But it's going to be pretty interesting once we finish and finish off the West, and then we start looking in on what's going on in the second round of all 4 regionals. What we're looking at here is the West region. Number 1 seed Chris Jericho versus Jake Roberts, Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk, Seth Rollins versus Jack Rogue, Matt Hardy versus The Ultimate Warrior, Chris Benoit versus AJ Styles, Steve Austin versus Greg the Hammer Valentine, Mick Foley versus Shelton Benjamin, and then we'll finish it off with the number 2 seed The Miz versus Shane McMahon. So without further ado, let's start off with the first match, Chris Jericho versus Jake Roberts. And I'll lead it off with Chris Jericho. He is the name Y2J. Jericho is probably one of the best, probably close to being an icon to every wrestling program in the wrestling community. Jericho is a Wrestling Observer newsletter Hall of Fame 2010. Jake Roberts is also a Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Famer, as a matter of fact, in 2014. But Jericho is a Grand Slam champion, and unfortunately for Jake Roberts, he's never won a title in the WWE. So my vote goes to Chris Jericho.
There's no doubt about it. Chris Jericho, like you said, is the most decorated wrestler, and so there's no doubt about this match. Jericho got this one.
Okay, I'll take Chris Jericho as well. It seems like a pretty easy pick. Jake Roberts, again, legend. Hate to take too much away from someone, but it is pretty blatant fault in his history that he doesn't have any titles. So you got to give it to the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Chris Jericho.
Pretty much saying the same thing. I mean, Jake the Snake hasn't really done nothing. I mean, not nothing, but he mainly just came down with snakes, As they won a title, no. So at the end of the day, it goes to, that one, Chris Jericho takes it.
All right, and Armchair Wrestling also have picked Jericho. And we will move on to the next match, CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. Now, this match is pretty interesting.
When you think about CM Punk, you think about him on the mic. Just a master at the mic, you know what I'm saying? And the multiple championships that he's won, in the WWE compared to Cody Rhodes. I give this to CM Punk. I mean, he's been a world champion, something that Cody Rhodes hasn't been. And even as a champion, he's held that belt for a pretty long time. He knew how to get under people's skin with that mic. He knew how to pipe bomb everybody. I mean, he's even challenged, he's held his own against John Cena on that mic. You know what I'm saying? He's had matches that you wouldn't even believe, like, handicap matches, and come out winning these matches, and he sticks with his character in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Unlike Cody Rhodes, who just bounces to all these different type of characters. So I give it to CM Punk in this one, hands down.
See, CM Punk is it. I mean, when you look at everything he's done and what Cody hasn't really done completely in the WWE, for me, it was Cody Rhodes started blossoming him later on in his career in WWE. Plus, with the change of the character, CM Punk has been one person, one voice the whole time. So I mean, hands down, that's CM Punk. And when you go on my stats, it's CM Punk.
Yeah, we understand your statistics. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear, buddy. Tyler.
Again, Cody is a great wrestler, one of the best of current era, but I'm not taking into AEW in this. I'm just going to take WWE character development, and CM Punk was way better than Cody Rhodes could have ever dreamed to be with the WWE. One of the best talkers on the mic, one of the best champions of all time, one of my favorite matches of all time against John Cena when he ran off with the title. If you have your name still being chanted when you're no longer part of WWE at every major event in WWE history, you deserve to go pretty dang far in the WrestleMania bracket. So CM Punk for the win.
You got a valid point there of CM Punk. I mean, not even being out, I think it was 8 years already, if I'm not mistaken. And yet
Close.
the crowd still chant CM Punk wherever WWE goes. So it's pretty magnificent. But before he left, he was speaking the truth, and that truth still exists today. But hey, I could go back to June 13, 2013. CM Punk and Chris Jericho were tag teams, and they defeated Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. May 14, 2012, CM Punk and Santino Marella defeated Cody Rhodes and Daniel Bryan. And then December 29, 2008, Cody Rhodes actually defeated CM Punk by a countout. And that's pretty much the only victory that Cody Rhodes had. But hey, CM Punk is a 5-time world champion. He's also was an ECW champion. Okay, and he held the Intercontinental Championship. CM Punk also won back-to-back Money in the Bank.
Yep.
So keep that in mind, that even back-to-back, and still was able to catch in successfully. So I choose CM Punk to advance to the second round. And so did Armchair Wrestling Podcast. They also voted. Sorry, Jim. I know you're voting Rhodes to be in the second round, but there was no chance in hell that he would make it to the second round. So, by all means,
if Vince had his way, neither one of these guys would be going on to the next round.
Wow. So, but yeah, hey, our next match, Seth Rollins versus Jack Rogue. Pretty interesting here. I know most people don't know who Jack Rogue is, but he was the Canadian soldier that he was supposed to be, and he did other gimmicks as well. But then you got Seth Rollins, who is the face of WWE Raw right now. So Frank,
Jack who?
Exactly.
Now he was somebody. You can't say Jack who. He was somebody. He was a big threat to many opponents.
I don't remember ever hearing about this guy. And
you wasn't watching the 80s. The 80s wasn't nice to you.
No, maybe not. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I don't remember from the 80s, and there's some I do, but I don't remember this guy. And I looked him up a bit, and I looked up Seth Rollins. And when you look at Seth Rollins at what he has, he's been 2-time heavyweight champion. He's been United States champion. He's been tag team champion. So, I mean, obviously it's Seth Rollins. Like I said, Jack who.
That sounds like a new French name, Jacou. No, this is, again, I get it. We want to give everyone their credit, but you can't give this guy any credit against Seth freaking Rollins. He's going to burn it down. The Monday Night Messiah, the architect, the creator and destroyer of the Shield. There's so many things that this man has done. He won the Royal Rumble. He cashed in, the first person ever to cash in Money in the Bank in the middle of a match and then win that match.
And at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania, came sprinting down the ramp, and everyone was, at that moment, hating Seth Rollins. So we weren't sure how we felt about it. But one of the most iconic cash-ins ever. He's an incredible champion, incredible on the mic. He doesn't care if he's getting booed or he's getting cheered. He's going to put on an incredible show. Seth Rollins for the win.
All right. I got Seth Rollins, and so did Alex from Armchair Wrestling. He did the same. You guys, Tyler, you said it best already for all his accomplishments. Hector, your last words on this?
Burn it down.
Burn it down it
There you
is.
go.
And I'm going to tell you who was been burning it down in the late 80s, early 90s was the man, the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, this guy was sprint all the way to the ring, who probably was jacked up in steroids, even though, you know, people want to like keep that in the download. But if you listen to his speech, we know. We knew what was going on. But yeah, he was hard charging, moving them ropes. That's right, Frank. Moving them ropes, getting in there, hyping it up. And then you have the guy that's really loco crazy right now with his deletion, and that is Matt Hardy. So, Tyler, I mean, I don't think you want to delete this pick right here. So, what you have on this?
You know, the Ultimate Warrior, incredible wrestler in WWF, and you know, there's a whole foundation named after the guy. He's obviously left his mark on WWE. But that being said, I guess if I had to give an answer, I would delete the Ultimate Warrior and put Matt Hardy up over the top of the Ultimate Warrior. I love Matt Hardy. I love the delete gimmick. He has one of the craziest. You talked about it last time, so you can't even give me that face right now. I was talking about
what
return.
Face? What face are you talking about?
Face. We can all see you.
I can see you too.
I know.
Yeah.
His return at WrestleMania with Jeff Hardy was, as we agreed in one of the last podcasts, one of the greatest returns of all time. When Ultimate Warrior came back for that little bit when he got inducted into the Hall, everyone was like, "Who cares?"
You talking about Warrior?
Yeah.
Warrior? You think they were just barely clapping? Dude, Ultimate Warrior was he is a legend. They even made an award, a trophy on behalf of Warrior for all the young ones that are battling cancer and everything else. He is much of a bigger deal than Matt Hardy.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And Matt Hardy's big ovation was with Jeff Hardy. And as a matter of fact, you want to compare the brothers, Jeff has more popularity than Matt. Okay? So people want Jeff more than Matt.
Listen.
So you're going to tell me right now that nobody cared about the Ultimate Warrior is what you're saying? Like people were chanting Warrior for 3 days straight, and it's sadly to say enough on his return. He passed away. But dude, Ultimate Warrior was the man and finally ended Hulk Hogan's streak in WrestleMania. All right.
Yeah.
So
great.
Please don't tell me he is the only one, the very first one in WWE history to have 2 titles. He is technically the first undisputed champion in WWE history.
Matt Hardy has some of the greatest gimmicks of all time, greatest rivalries of all time in WWE.
Oh, don't get me wrong, he has good gimmicks.
All right. Here's my argument on this. The Ultimate Warrior has one of the greatest win-loss percentage in the WWE. You look at his record, he's only been pinned 3 times in his career. And all 3 times he's been pinned, it was because he was cheated. So technically, if you look at his WWE career, his whole wrestling career, he hasn't been pinned fair and square. So the man cannot be beaten. He's undefeated against Andre the Giant. Okay, in the WWE, he has beaten Hulk Hogan. Like Ovi said, he is the first technically undisputed champion, but he had to give up the Intercontinental title. This man cannot be beaten fair and square. Granted, Matt Hardy has won these titles. The Ultimate Warrior has been proven that he is why he is called the Ultimate Warrior. This guy has ended his career in the WWE on a winning streak. He has, like I said, one of the greatest records there is. Okay, you cannot beat that. Even when he moved over to WCW, they had to find ways of cheating. Hogan had to find a way of cheating to beat the Ultimate Warrior. Okay, so this man has done everything except win every single title like Matt Hardy has. But if you were to put these 2 in the ring, no matter what gimmick Matt Hardy has, Ultimate Warrior would have press slammed him like he did Andre the Giant and beat him 1, 2, 3. Plain and simple. So the Ultimate Warrior wins this one on my side.
Why are we going any further in the bracket? Why not just put Ultimate Warrior in the finals and have him win if he can't be beat by anybody?
Oh, he can be beat.
We're not even there yet.
Yeah.
We're not even there yet. Let's stay focused on round 1. But stay focused
Oh,
on
he's gonna
round
get beat
one.
by Andre. That's right.
Well, from what I see right now, it's
This guy's still butthurt from our very first episode. I can't believe this. But
He jumped.
all right,
WrestleMania 3,
Frank.
he jumped.
well. Let's see. Right now, it's what Matt Hardy 2, Ultimate Warrior 2.
2-2. You're the tiebreaker.
I'm the tiebreaker. Wow. Okay. Well, look.
You're Mr.
Come on, you love
Stats. So
upsets. You love upsets.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
You know what? I would tell you this. When I was looking through my stat sheets, looking at all that, Matt Hardy has more wins. Okay.
oh my
Yeah, he
god.
does.
But no, what channel we watch? But if this was a tag team bracket, then I'll tell you, hey, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. But it's not. It's a singles bracket. Ultimate Warrior has done more, and like Hector had pointed out earlier, he's never really been beaten legitimately. So at the end of the day, it goes to Ultimate Warrior.
All right, so the Ultimate Warrior 3-2 advances to the second round, and we're talking about beast mode and everything else. The one that there was a recent documentary of was about Chris Benoit and his lifestyle that led him to a tragic death. But being what he had done in the WWE, he is respectably enough to be on this list. And he's not vanished at all. But Chris Benoit versus AJ Styles, the Phenomenal One. This is a very, very hard to look at. But then I had to put things in perspective because I learned a lot between the not the Ultimate Warrior, the Undertaker versus AJ Styles' last beef that they had at WrestleMania. And there was a lot of dirty laundry putting out there. So, and it made a lot of sense because AJ Styles used to be in the WWE, then he left. And he made his career TNA and in Japan. So, like I said, both superstars never met. And they could have if AJ Styles would have stayed in WWE. But fortunately, it wasn't. But in 2001, Benoit won the Intercontinental Championship and a tag team champion with Chris Jericho. So he had a successful year that year. But we know AJ Styles, he's the Phenomenal One. He make things happen. But I can't just look my back on Benoit. He was by far one of the greatest in ring. So I picked Chris Benoit.
This was a very tough pick for me also. Going back and looking at this matchup, seeing what each one has done, I mean, man, it was so hard because it's like, yeah, they both had a lot of great matches with a lot of great superstars, but they've also had a lot of downfalls and a lot of losses. And I looked at it, Benoit's never won the WWE Championship title. He won the World Heavyweight title in the WWE, but never the WWE title, unlike AJ Styles, who has won the WWE title. But who he beat to win that title pretty much were two irrelevant people, Dean Ambrose and Jinder Mahal. They were not no high-profile champions for AJ Styles, in my opinion, to have winning that title. So with that, I slight edge to Chris Benoit. I think his in-ring performance is maybe would have been a little bit better than AJ Styles. I mean, two great high flyers, but when it comes to submission holds, man, Chris Benoit was a beast at that. And so with that, I take nothing away from AJ Styles, man. But Chris Benoit, I just give him the slight edge on this one.
AJ Styles, granted Chris Benoit is who he is. What?
You're talking to us, man. All right, he said Chris Benoit. I think he's AJ Styles. He said.
No,
you said Benoit. You said AJ Styles.
It's AJ Styles.
AJ Styles. I mean, you said what? So I don't know if you were talking to yourself or things going on in your end. I don't know.
I'm kind of surprised that you guys had as much trouble with this as you did, because I very easily picked AJ Styles here. Chris Benoit, it was great, but I cannot erase the fact of what he did. I know he had some stuff wrong upstairs, but I will never erase the fact that he killed his family before taking his own life. That fact alone was enough for me to just go, I don't even care who he's fighting. AJ Styles. Easy.
Fair enough. And that's what I had said at the beginning is like, I'm not going to take, the tragedy happened, but we just focus on just in the ring, stuff that happened in the WWE, not outside. That's why I was comparing to both, because if the incident didn't even happen, then will we be talking about, more things about Benoit? Unfortunately, like I said, my condolences to the victims and everybody else affected to that tragedy. But if we're looking at just wrestling alone, and I agree with Chris Jericho. I mean, does that guy really deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? No, he doesn't, because of that happened. But his wife, she should be, because she's one of the first females in the business to put women on the platform, because she was but I know we're getting off the subject here, but it's 2-2, Benoit and AJ Styles. We need one more vote to break the tiebreaker, but going on to Armchair Wrestling, and he picked Chris Benoit to break the tiebreaker 3-2. So I know things ain't looking bright for you, Tyler, right now. You look like you're in the losing streak right now, but we'll get you back on your feet again.
All those old school boys.
I never met Alex, man. Like I said, he put in his picks, but hey, the subject is not going to be ending. We're gonna reach out to social media, Facebook and Twitter. Let me know who you think should win this match. Is it Chris Benoit or AJ Styles? And I know Jim Bard, who's listening in, is saying AJ Styles should win it. Okay, we'll see, man. The night is not over yet. But right now, Chris Benoit advances to the second round, and that leads us to one of the icons, the Hall of Famer, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Greg the Hammer Valentine.
What's there to talk about with this match? We got a man who's won 3 Royal Rumbles. Do I need to say any more?
Stone Cold is Stone Cold, right? That's it.
The birth of 316 came from when he won the King of the Ring.
And that's the bottom line.
Amen.
All right, anonymously, Steve Austin got it in. Tyler, your dad says Greg the Hammer Valentine. I guess he likes the figure 4.
I can't tell if he's trolling or not, but Steve Austin's the obvious pick here.
Yeah. And hey, one other, you talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin, you got to talk about Mick Foley and his 3 different gimmicks that he had in the WWE. He found himself challenging Shelton Benjamin. Hector.
Bang bang. Which one you
bang
want?
Bang.
Shelton Benjamin is a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. Great tag team champion. But Mick Foley, man, you talking about he's one of the king of hardcores. This man could take 5 attacks, throwing off of a cage, and still walk around toothless. Even into the hardcore, man. This man is like a legend when it comes to the hardcore title, if you want to go that route. But yeah, a man who can have 3 different gimmicks or whatever you want to say, and still, succeed in all of them. Hey, I was digging the whole do love thing. I liked it that day. I give Mick Foley this match against Shelton Benjamin.
All right. Frank, you got more stats? Oh, you got the black sock. I understand who you picking.
Taco, man, it's Mick Foley, hands down.
If I had the mask, I would have put it on.
Yeah, he was the first.
I'm surprised you got black, you got white. I'm looking for the green one, or is it the wrong person?
That was
Santino.
The green was Santino.
Oh,
Santino Marella. Come on, you're gonna make me answer this? Obviously, Mick Foley. Get out of here, Shelton. Get out. Go. Get out. We don't need you here.
Well, Shelton's still dealing with Suplex City with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. But
Unless you bring him
yeah,
up.
I mean, hey Alex, if you're listening in, I don't know why you picked Shelton Benjamin, but it's a 4-1 favor. Mick Foley moves on to the second round. And that leads us to our very last match of round 1. That completes round 1 in the hashtag Mania Challenge 2020. And that is The Miz versus Shane McMahon. Now I'll start with you, Frank. Was it an easy choice, or did you have some difficulties finding your stats on this one?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know you were left speechless about this. Yes.
He's having a tough
So, but Tyler, man, you want to add on to this?
Yeah, you got it. Oh, he can't hear us, I think. So I love Shane McMahon. I absolutely love Shane McMahon. I've always loved that gimmick. One of my favorite people in the WWE. But you have to give it to The Miz. The Miz is one of the best performers, best on-air personalities in WWE history. The most must-see superstar in WWE. Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set? Because The Miz is moving on to round 2.
Wow, I tell you what, the set is not quiet at all because Shane McMahon has defeated The Miz 3 times. He's 3-0 against
really?
the guy. It really, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that you saw Shane McMahon defeat The Miz. I was there at Money in the Bank in the XL Center watching Shane McMahon jumping over the steel cage, and even though he slipped away, a win is a win. Okay? The Miz really never got into cornered Shane McMahon for a great ass whooping. He didn't do it yet, but he didn't know how to receive it. Okay? So I picked Shane McMahon. Armchair Wrestling picked The Miz. So 2-1. We're going to Hector, and let me see what he has to say.
Don't let me down.
I get the fact that Shane McMahon has a winning record against The Miz. I get that.
Thank you.
McMahon is not a professional wrestler like The Miz. Okay?
Thank you.
Shane McMahon does not have a title to his name in the WWE, unlike his dad, who was a world champion. Okay? The Miz is a Grand Slam champion. He's a Money in the Bank winner. He's a mixed match winner. Okay? The Miz is must-see TV. Okay? He's probably right now the greatest intercontinental champion of our time. Okay? You got
down.
These things into consideration besides 3 or 4 matches that he had with Shane McMahon, who's not even a full-time wrestler. I mean, Shane McMahon gets himself into these matches. He's a great performer. He gets out there and fight with the best of them. You know,
yes.
He'll put it out there. I mean, he gave The Undertaker all he got. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, The Miz is who you're going to want to watch when it comes to the TV. And then not only as a singles, but as a tag team. I mean, he's one of the great tag teams out there to hold the tag title. So I'm giving it to The Miz on this one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it can't go to the greatest in the world because he robbed that title.
Man, you mean to tell me that y'all still gonna give it to him, and yet he can never beat Shane McMahon?
Stop it.
By paper, it's a loss is a loss.
Shane McMahon
a loss is a loss.
He's not allowed.
And his dad approves it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So Frank, you said The Miz. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Right now, we're gonna push this into a triple threat match because Shane McMahon. I'm just kidding. All right, so The Miz goes to the second round, regardless of their head-to-head competition. So this pretty much closes it down. I think Jim Barr says, "Son of the pencil neck geek."
That's Shane McMahon.
Yeah. So let's recap of what our winners are here for the set for the second round in the West. We have Chris Jericho versus CM Punk, Seth Rollins versus The Warrior, Chris Benoit versus Steve Austin, and Mick Foley versus The Miz. And let's recap on the other regionals that's going to happen for our next episode, which is the East region second round. We have Edge versus Roman Reigns, Sheamus versus Shawn Michaels, Bautista against Andre the Giant, and Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show. So if you're updating your stats, your tournament brackets, hey, we'll be announcing who's in the lead in the leaders board for the Mania Challenge. And again, thank you again for everyone participating. This is a lot of fun. I know things are going quickly here, but the most challenging part is happening right now once we get into the second round, and these debates will surely get more interesting as we go along.
It's gonna get hot.
So definitely going hot. Hey, this show is also brought to you by Clovercrest Media. You're looking for an opportunity to put your voice in the airwaves. That's right. You want to do it through streaming, everything else you want to do. Hey, go to clovercrestmedia.com, subscribe, contact Joe Aguirre. He'd be more than happy to receive your calls and set you up and get your voice heard right away. Also, visit hhwshow.com, get the latest news, predictions, reactions on everything that's happening in the WWE and all around sports. So on behalf of Frank, Tyler, and Hector, I'm Ovi Muniz. Thank you for listening to the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show, and tune in next week for the next episode as we'll cover down the East region second round. Thank you for listening to the Hard Hittin Wrestling Show. Find us on Facebook. We're also on YouTube as well. And until next time, take care, everyone.